All right, we're back. Tasty Crypto Show. I'm Ryan Grace. With me today, it's Wednesday, of course, Shelley Van.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
Doing all right. How about you?
I'm good. Yeah. Can't complain. Usually I'm able to find something to complain about, but we can complain about the weather any day here in the winter in Chicago. But other than that, I'm good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I'm feeling better. Bitcoin over 90. That's about all it takes for me.
Right.
Yeah, Bitcoin over 90. Everything's great.
That's cool.
Yeah, nothing else is a problem whatsoever. Everything's good. How are you doing? Aside from, lots going on at work here today, but beans, we've got to keep pumping it. I know that we've got growing viewership. I'm sure, hopefully, we've got some people coming over to this show as well.
Yeah, actually, some friends in chat have joined and won prizes. And so,
Hell yeah.
Sophos, Frank, get in the Discord because we have questions for you. We need to know wallet addresses, things like that, so that we can send giveaway prizes accordingly.
Go get that money, Lone Sophos and Frank. Question for the chat today. I guess, first of all, if you aren't streaming this on YouTube and in the chat and typing just crazy shit and speaking your mind in here, what are you doing? Get over to the chat. Mm-hmm. Shelley, what's the question of the day?
Pet peeve.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. What do you got?
Oh, where to start? I mean, this is one that probably is I don't know if it's a pet peeve or just like, everybody hates this. When you're eating food or you're eating with someone and they are scraping their fork or spoon or whatever, just it's hitting the plate.
Yeah. The
Yes.
cutting a steak on a porcelain dish.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like, oh, wow, Ryan pulled out nails on a chalkboard. That's his pet peeve. Very original.
That was specific, though. That counts.
How about yourself?
I have quite a few. Recently, though, I have a sunrise alarm clock. It's beautiful. I set, if I set my alarm for 5 a.m. at 4:30, it very slowly lights up my room.
Okay, I was going to ask what a sunrise alarm clock is, but that makes sense.
It's magnificent, especially during these hours when you wake up and it's pitch black. It kind of just, the natural circadian rhythm is activated. Well, mine's glitched, and the sun is rising at like 2 a.m. So I'm going to call that my pet peeve because I've been very tired. And I'm like, why? What's happening? And then I'm like, at 2 a.m., I woke up and I was like, why is the sun out? So, yeah.
So it's like a one-time occurrence, or what's the deal here? Are you going to unplug it tonight, or?
Oh, it's
okay.
It's happening tonight. There's going to be a whole fight.
I can see how that's annoying.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I've got another one. Just came to mind. I haven't experienced this recently, but if you're on public transportation, usually you do.
Ooh.
When people are playing video games or TikTok videos or whatever on max volume on their phones with no headphones and no awareness, clearly. Mm-hmm. Pet peeve.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, we could do this all day because now I had just 4 more come funneling in.
Just generally.
I want to know in chat, what are your pet peeves? Lone Sophos, someone talking over me when I'm speaking or interrupting me. Mm-hmm. That'll just rudeness, I think, is totally fair. Grumpy Mike, raining here. Uh-oh, it's Shelley Van. Why uh-oh?
I think it's like a good no, like, yo! It's Shelley Van, yeah. I think, at least that's how I interpreted it, right, Grumpy Mike?
Yeah, go with it. Jose!
Wherever Grumpy Mike's at, I don't know, is Grumpy Mike in Hawaii or something? Second time this year?
Well,
as in like 60-some days in, you've had rain twice?
In Hawaii?
I don't know where he is,
well,
but what the hell?
I was going to say, it rains like every day in Hawaii, unless you're on like the Kona side.
Yeah, I've never been, so I don't really know what you're referring to, but it sounds nice.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Recommended.
Shelley, let's jump into the show. We've got a lot to talk about here today, specific to some of the things that we're doing on the Tasty Trade side of the business. We're associated with crypto, so we're going to talk about all areas of the crypto offering, whether it's Tasty Crypto, it's Tasty Trade, or here on Tasty Live, the crypto content. But I want to discuss the new tokens that we've added to the platform.
5 of them.
5 more. I think it takes the offering to maybe 12. We've got another 5 coming. If people have demand for other tokens, other coins, let us know what you'd like to see on the platform, and we'll do our best to get it up and running ASAP. But let's talk about the 5 that we added this week. Shiba Inu, Cardano, Aave, Avalanche, Chainlink.
Well done.
Do you own any of these?
5 for 5.
You own them all.
I do.
I should have known.
Across a few wallets. I'm interested to learn about them from you, though, because I will admit, in my AP ways, I just bought in early, and they sit in my wallet.
That's okay. I can respect that approach. You've got to have a little skin in the game. You then have an incentive to learn a little bit more about these. I don't know how relevant or necessary that is in crypto at times. I mean, I suppose that's also applicable to the stock market. You don't really need to know what you own, but you maybe should. That's some people's advice, at least. But I commend you jumping in head first, all 5. I don't own any of these presently, but in the past I have been trading around in some of these, and I've had a Chainlink position for a long time, but I did sell out of it as we got this recent rally. I don't know when it was. I've probably been out of it for a few months, but once we finally just got off of those lows that we were in for some time, I was able to take some positions off the table and consolidate a little bit. But who cares about me? Let's talk about these tokens, Shelley. Start with Cardano, because I believe, and we'll get to just a comparison around market cap and performance here in a second, but I think this is the biggest one by market cap that's on the list of these 5. You want to take this one? You want me to take this one?
You take it, because I'm realizing I have to look way over here to see.
Oh, okay. You only have the live stream up there. Okay. Ticker, A, D as in dog. A, again, as in apple. Cardano is a proof-of-stake blockchain. This is created by Charles Hoskinson, and he was one of the co-founders of Ethereum. I don't trade this. I mean, I have nothing against it, right? Sometimes people think that, oh, you don't own it, you must hate it, in crypto at least. Not the case. We'll probably get into this, and certainly now that it's at tastytrade, definitely on the radar. We will put expected moves and, you know, the performance dashboard pieces in place around this as well. I think of this as Ethereum. You know, when you just do a quick search, you look at the description in the Tasty, or excuse me, through CoinMarketCap. It's not in the tastycrypto app yet, is on tastytrade. But when you look at the description, you'll find that this is, you know, focused on being environmentally sustainable. It's a proof of stake blockchain. The initial objective was to improve on some of the functionality that exists with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like many other networks, you can transfer tokens across it. ADA is the native cryptocurrency to the chain. And this is one that, from what I've seen anecdotally, you know, a lot of people are interested in. There's a lot of demand for. I'm not quite sure, you know, where the activity is when we look at this from the fundamental perspective that supports it. So we can do a deep dive on this later. But high level, this is what
music NFTs on Cardano.
You do.
I do.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Yeah, this was a couple of years ago, but it's all coming back to me now because I have an artist friend who's like super Cardano maxi, and I remember it was a little confusing to get them at the time. Once I had them, I was like, well, that was interesting. It was cheaper than ETH, basically.
This is done well recently, given going back to the tweet over the weekend. We still call them tweets, right? Even though it's X.
I do.
Yeah, I do too. It's going to be hard to shake that. I don't know what else you would post.
Well, they're called posts, but that
post on X. Cool. The tweet over the weekend from President Trump did mention ADA as one of the assets potentially included in a digital asset strategic reserve of the United States. And so, like the others, this has exploded higher in price. I just want to get a quote really quickly. 98 cents. So just a couple of days ago, it was about 60 cents or so. So nice move to the upside. It has pulled back a little bit, but topped out at about 120. So a nice 100% move on that tweet. Still up about 44% on the week. So keep an eye on it. I've got it on the watch list. It's now in the tastytrade platform, but let's move on to some of the other offerings. The next one being SHIB, Shiba Inu. How would you say it when you just
SHIB.
see the ticker? SHIB. But Shiba Inu,
SHIB.
another cute little dog.
We like our dogs.
Shiba Inu is a token on the Ethereum network. So this is an ERC20 token that has also become a popular meme coin like Doge. I think of this as like the Ethereum version of Doge. Doge is obviously its own chain. This is a meme on Ethereum. And there's a lot going on here. You know, we're not going to break down every element to the communities behind this, but you hear meme and you kind of just think, oh, it's just speculative. But there's actually a lot behind this. A little bit of backstory first, though. This was originally something where, well, you can see it here on the screen, 1 quadrillion tokens were minted. So basically unlimited supply, similar to Doge and many others. And a significant portion of it was then sent to Vitalik Buterin. That said, he burned 90% of what he received, and then he donated the rest to charity. So there's not quite 1 quadrillion tokens anymore.
There's also the layer 2 network on SHIB. That's the Shibarium.
Okay.
I'm not super familiar with it, but I like the sound of it.
I think I have that in my notes if I can find it here. I mean, there is an ecosystem to this. So you have Shiba Swap, decentralized exchange. You've got Bone, Shiba Swap, and Leash. These are other tokens that are associated with the Shiba Inu ecosystem. Bone, for instance, is used for voting in the decentralized Shiba Inu's Doggy DAO.
Yeah. This is real life, people.
I used to have an opinion on like interest rates and Federal Reserve monetary policy and big macro trades, and the Doggy DAO is my thing now.
Yep.
I love it though. You can trade Shiba Inu now at tastytrade, which is exciting because I think when you look at memes, you know, we've made this argument before. There is a place in the portfolio, specifically in bull markets, where you want that volatility exposure. And as much as we joke about this, I think it's still true today. We'll have to run the numbers. But I believe the best performing crypto asset is still Dogecoin, outperforming Bitcoin. You're going to live by that volatility and experience it on the downside as well. But even in the last year, Doge is up 11% still, up hundreds of percentage points at one point in time. So we joke about the memes, but I do believe there is a place in the portfolio for them.
Memes don't take offense.
No. Got to be able to stomach the volatility, though. All right, next on the list, Chainlink. Arguably a little bit more of a fundamental use case here and an investment case as well. Chainlink, if you're not familiar with it, is a decentralized Oracle network that provides data to smart contracts. Now, this is very important if we believe that smart contracts and blockchain networks are going to power more things in the future, even beyond financial use cases. So with smart contracts in this scenario, or if we think about the growth here, there's going to be an increased need for external data to be fed on chain, right? Obviously, you can reference prices, you can reference on-chain data, but you need to also be able to, in many cases, reference in a secure manner off-chain data. Maybe that's just the temperature outside. But all of these things that exist in the real world, you want to be able to reference so that smart contracts can function as a result. Chainlink solves this problem by allowing smart contracts to securely interact with external data feeds such as APIs, and you can also think about it as databases in the traditional sense when we look at bank payments, other centralized databases. And I see in the chat, great comment, Pyth is a strong competitor to Link as well. Yes, there are more than one. There's more than one Oracle solution out there. Chainlink is probably one of the better known ones at this point.
Can I ask you just a sidebar question relating to smart contracts? What do you think the future holds for smart contracts? In terms that right now, I think NFTs gave sort of a really... They gave smart contracts a bad name, in my opinion, because everybody focused on the JPEG instead of the underlying technology, which is the smart contract. So I'm just curious, like, take off the JPEG and get that out of our heads. Smart contracts.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the foundation or the core to obviously applications, decentralized applications that run on blockchain networks. I mean, this is just code on chain. It's, again, the basis for building applications on these networks. I think becomes more and more relevant when we layer on top of it this AI component. If you believe that there's going to be this continued proliferation of AI, which I don't think there's any reason not to believe that, then more complex smart contracts are going to facilitate more processes and add more value, more utility, if that makes sense. Today we think about smart contract interactions where I might trade through a decentralized exchange. So that's going to use, obviously, smart contracts. But when we think about, some of the processes that exist when we look at the real world, real business cases, how businesses engage or interact with one another, how supply chains are managed, et cetera, I think, I guess whether AI is involved or not, that's where these complex smart contracts play a much larger role in just kind of automating things.
Health insurance.
Yeah.
I want that so bad.
Yeah, it is odd that your health records still kind of are stored like with your doctor, and then they have to send them to another doctor, and you don't really have ownership.
In 3 states in the last 3 years, I'm like a newborn.
Yeah.
They're like, what's your medical history? I'm like, what do I want it to be? Because clearly you don't have any records.
So I think, blockchain in many ways helps to solve for that. But I think what you're going to see, and whether we think about what's happening at the contract level or not, it's going to be facilitated by smart contracts. So Chainlink is an oracle, and at the end of the day is, is going to play a role in terms of obviously feeds for various types of data and how that data is referenced in order for different things to function on chain.
Can you define oracle for anybody who doesn't fully understand what that is?
I just think of it as a data feed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of high level how I think about it. I don't know, is that like Greek mythology? Oracle, all-seeing, all-knowing.
I just think of the Matrix.
Yeah. But in this case, I just think about it as a data feed or a network of data feeds that can be referenced, and you can pull in or ingest data on chain that just otherwise doesn't exist on chain. Right? That blockchain doesn't know what the score of the baseball game was. But if you have an Oracle network that can take those prices or those values or that data and it can be referenced, then smart contracts can, I guess, function as a result, operate as a result.
So Flower Power 2222, how do you keep records private if the blockchain is public and accessible by everyone? Would an Oracle be a solution to that if there's a privacy layer to that data?
I think so. I mean, it's a good question. I don't think that while, things are transparent on chain, it doesn't mean that you couldn't have private blockchains where this could work. I don't know. I honestly don't know if anybody has solved for this yet, but just the concept of being able to own your own data and take that with you in the same way that you're the custodian of your assets on chain. I guess look at it this way. Sure, the data is transparent in some form. The wallet address, if we just look at it today, is transparent, and we do associate, these balances and these tokens with symbols, and we have a concept of a price and this kind of real-world approach to it. But it can be masked, right? Even when I think about a wallet address, unless you have a .eth or you've gone out there and you've associated or attached a name to it, it's just an address. I don't know your address.
Right.
And so I think there is some degree of privacy in that sense, but problems to solve for sure.
We're early.
Absolutely. Chainlink, up next, Aave. Aave is DeFi. It's a lending platform built on the Ethereum blockchain, allows users to lend out their cryptocurrencies and earn interest on them or borrow against their crypto holdings by providing collateral. And if you've ever been on the Aave platform, it supports a wide range of cryptocurrencies for both lending and borrowing. Huge use case, right? I mean, this is banking 101.
That's awesome.
Finally, Avalanche, ticker is AVAX. Avalanche is another blockchain network. It's a high-performance one, scalable blockchain platform designed for creating custom blockchain networks and decentralized applications. I'll be honest with you, I'm not super familiar with the intricacies or the inner workings of Avalanche, but what we have on the screen tells you that it consists of 3 built-in blockchains. You have the exchange or X chain, the platform chain, and the contract chain. And each chain then serves a distinct purpose, optimizing the network's overall performance and utility. So we just kind of have some words up here on the screen. But I think you have been involved with Avalanche to some extent, right?
Only because I like shopping for funny things to invest in. I did look on OpenSea because you can shop for Avalanche based NFTs on that platform. There aren't that many, just a few. But
there are these ones, though.
Sausagers, villagers, but sausage. I mean,
I love them.
this is real life. You could own one of these or many of these if you wanted to. But you need the AVAX token.
Okay, so that is the underlying currency. And that's important that when we talk about a lot of these blockchain networks, they have an associated currency or cryptocurrency, the native
token. Yes.
And in this case, it's AVAX or AVAX. Okay. These aren't the ones that you own. These are just ones that are
I
for
was just
sale.
shopping because I was like, oh, interesting. These are hilarious.
So when you're shopping, what are you looking for specifically? Just kind of pops out at you?
Yeah.
Or are we going for one of these like leopard print sausages?
I kind of like the female ones
Okay, yep.
because the sausage with boobs is just, why not?
Yep.
Come on. Gotta have it.
Yeah,
That's how I shop. The funnier, the better. And it's culture on chain, Ryan. That's kind of my thing.
Now, I do have to call this one out. I mean, this one is a sausage with a baby while smoking a blunt or a cigar. I'm not quite sure what that is. I'm assuming it's a cigar, but could be something else. Crack pipe? I don't know. Sausage with a crack pipe and a baby. You can get it for 5 AVAX. Could be yours today. I do love this stuff. It's fun. Avalanche is, again, another blockchain network. There are a lot of these. I think over time, you probably see some degree of interoperability. There are different use cases for different chains. I think there's also an argument to be made that there is an excess of block space in some cases. And so when you think about how you value these things and you think about blockchains as security layers or the business being that you sell block space, well, there's seemingly a lot of block space. And, at times that's reflected in the price. There are, to an extent, as we've talked about, we wrote about this in the email over the weekend, there are fundamentals that you can track. And so if we just jump to the next slide here, just an objective look at where we are. I have no opinion on one versus the other. No one's here saying that, you should own Shiba Inu versus Aave. These are entirely different things. We're simply just expanding the available product offering at tastytrade. But Cardano is the largest by market cap. Aave is the smallest presently. And you can see some of these have done fairly well, while others, not so much. Shiba Inu, like many of the memes, is down significantly, but you can see this thing go up 100%. We do have volatilities when we look at ADA or Cardano of 231%. Now, that's a realized volatility on a 30-day basis. We just look at the 30-day realized vol and we annualize it. They can only go to 0, which would be a 100% vol. So when you have a 231% volatility, it means that this thing has at times experienced exponential asymmetric returns to the upside. And so very, very volatile. Be aware of that, I guess, if anything. But if you're looking for tokens that could potentially outperform in bull markets, then again, you want to own some of these things that have vols north of 100%, because in the event that they go up, they're going to go up a lot, but they can also go down by 100% as well. So keep that in mind.
And something like SHIB, you can get quite a lot for a very little bit.
Yeah. You You can hold hundreds of millions of Shiba Inu if you want, given the initial supply of a quadrillion. Shelley, before we wrap things up, I've got to mention a new update to the tastytrade mobile application. Super excited about this. The team behind it has been hard at work for the last couple of months, and this is a huge change to the application. So if we could just quickly throw this up here on the screen. I've got the mobile app loaded up. If your tastytrade app doesn't look like this, we typically phase out the release update, but you can go directly to the iOS or Android store, the Google Play Store, and you can update this manually if your app doesn't look like it. But if we can throw the interface up here on the screen, we'll just take a look at this. Boom. So what we've done really quickly is if you start on your dashboard, you look down there at the bottom navigation menu, you'll now notice there is a separate crypto tab. When you click on that, you'll now see everything in one place, all the new tokens. If you don't have crypto trading enabled, which this account doesn't, you'll be able to quickly enable that. So you have to enable crypto trading for your cash or margin account with Zero Hash. That's the third-party service provider, the custodian of the crypto assets. And then you'll have everything right here. So this acts as both your launch pad for trading and also a watch list. I personally have never seen prices update this quickly. So that's one thing that I love about this, right? I use the Coinbase app. I use others. It's not a knock against them. They do many things well, but damn, this price feed is fast. And I mean, that's what you want, right? Fast prices updating in real time. So you can see that the price change there, really like that. As you scroll down, you've got this content section here. So you can learn a little bit more about some of the tokens, about crypto, about Bitcoin, et cetera. And then if you want to trade the futures, you want to reference those prices. We've got that here on the screen. Got the ETFs as well. And clicking on any one of these is then going to bring up that trade ticket everybody's probably used to if they've used this app. And so when you click on that, that'll start that process and you can jump back there. A lot more coming, but this is phase one. Step one was released just yesterday. So if your app doesn't look like this and you haven't received the auto update just yet, you can manually update. Go to the iOS App Store, go to the Google Play Store, update your tastytrade app, and get this brand new badass crypto interface.
Shout out to the teams.
Yes. Yeah, they did a fantastic job here. So I'm super excited about it. And the workflow in here, at least in terms of how I typically approach the market, this works really well for me. I love having everything in one place. You can jump to a trade. I could buy my $2 worth of ETH, and then I can jump back to the main screen. So I like it a lot. But yeah, as Jose is saying in the chat, and shout out to Jose, everything crypto related, all in one place. I got a ton of stuff that is coming to this as well. More improvements coming soon. And we've got a new update of the tastycrypto app that went to the store today. I think it's still in review. I haven't seen that it was approved yet, but we will demo that. A lot of new stuff in there as well. But that's going to do it for our show. 5 new tokens on the tastytrade platform, 5 more coming next week. We'll keep you up to date when those are live, and we'll talk through them as well. But Shelley, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You'll be back on air on Friday with Dan for Beans. Check that out over on the tastycrypto network, I suppose we can call it.
Ooh, yeah.
Tastycrypto YouTube channel. If you're not a subscriber, get over there and hit that subscribe button.
Thank you. See you on Beans.
See you then. Until then, I'm Ryan.
Shelley.
Peace.